Let's get you caught up on what the Cowboys are doing on this big draft weekend here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Garrett Podell of CBS Sports. We already had talked at length about Tyler Guyton, the first-round draft pick. Now let's break down what the Cowboys did on Friday night and so far here on Saturday. We'll start with the second-round draft pick. They go to the defensive side of the football. Marshawn Kneeland, defensive end out of Western Michigan.
I think this is a pick where the guy they compared him to could be his successor. Now, in the post-draft press conference yesterday, Will McClay, the VP personnel, said this is like a DeMarcus Lawrence, what they saw from him out of Boise State. Now, Kneeland, he didn't have gaudy stats at Western Michigan. Only 4.5 was his career high. So you're wondering, well, why is that a second-round pick? They love the traits. He's about 6'3", 267, 4'6", 440. So he's got the elements that you want to be a nice pass rusher, and they believe putting him with DeMarcus Lawrence could help kind of train him up and have the veteran leadership to where he's playing the run. He's playing inside and outside, because that's the kind of versatility that D-Law brings that the defensive coaching staff loves so much about him.
Yeah, and at 6'3", 267, might even play up at 275 pounds. It's prototype in this defense, that base, the strong side defensive end. And it was a pretty good second-round draft pick 10 years ago when DeMarcus Lawrence came out of Boise State. All right, in the third round, I love this pick. And this is the pick that was acquired in the trade down in the first round when they traded down 5 spots and got Tyler Guyton. They picked up the number 73 overall pick from the Lions and another offensive lineman, a guard, Cooper Beebe. I will really love the pick if Beebe can play center, and he's out of Kansas State and a 4-year starter there, and is a 2-time Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year.
Yeah, so being here in Texas, you watch a lot of Big 12 football. This guy, as you mentioned, the 2-time Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year, the most dominant lineman in the Big 12, and you can make an argument in college football the way he dirted people. So talking to him on a conference call last night, he said his favorite thing to do as an offensive lineman is to dirt people and just smack them into the dirt. And he brought up a specific play that
I thought that was a pancake.
He says you dirt somebody.
Okay.
And so he said he loved dirting a specific Houston Cougars defender on a play. That was his favorite collegiate play. And I think that's the kind of hard-nosed, run-blocking kind of lineman that the Cowboys have kind of maybe missed last year. And McCarthy said, yeah, he's going to be in the mix to compete for center. And this is somebody who maybe he's a center this year, but Zach Martin's in the last year his deal. Maybe his natural position is guard. He plays right guard in the future, but this year he's going to be in the mix with Brock Hoffman to compete for that center spot.
Well, and that's one of the big things to consider with all these draft picks. It's not just about the team's needs this year. It's what do things look like down the road. And Zach Martin going on 34 years of age in November. As much as Cowboys fans hope that he can play forever, I don't think he's going to. And so Cooper Beebe could be the heir apparent there. All right, 14 picks later, number 87 in the third round, a linebacker that I know Mike Zimmer loves out of Notre Dame, Marist Liufau. He says that's how you pronounce the last name. It's spelled Liufau, pronounced Liufau, and this guy has been described as the most energetic player on the field.
Yeah, he's what you would describe in a scouting report as like a heat-seeking missile. The way he approaches tackling people is putting that shoulder pad low and really following through and finishing through his attack toward somebody. Now, sometimes he can miss some tackles because of that, but you would love to take somebody who plays almost too aggressive, then not as much, and then you can really refine that. And that kind of run-thumping linebacker is something that they were short on last year between Leighton Vander Esch's injury, DeMarvion Overshown, their 2023 third-round pick. He tore his ACL in training camp. So this is a depth pick and somebody who they believe can contribute immediately on special teams. He said on a conference call with us last night he played all 4 phases of special teams. So immediate contributor there, and then maybe someone who can factor into the inside linebacker rotation for Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, and I think he could play that Sam linebacker. You can see some things on tape where he has played on the edge at Notre Dame, could be used in sub packages his first year, and then could transfer into an inside linebacker. Of course, Eric Kendricks is the veteran guy who's been in Mike Zimmer's defense for so long when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. All right, a source tells me that the guy that the Cowboys picked today in the 5th round, Kalen Carson, cornerback from Wake Forest, they were actually discussing him in the 3rd round when they made the pick for Liufau. They had a 3rd round grade on him, so they were very excited he was still available. And one of the reasons I think he was still available, he only ran a 4.52 40 and he was coming off a foot injury his last game at Wake Forest, but a 4-year starter, and this is a gritty guy, Kalen Carson, the cornerback.
Absolutely. And you were talking about the grade they had on him. I actually just got off a conference call with him a few minutes ago, and he was surprised that he was available in the 5th round. He said, I assumed I'd be a day 2 pick or for sure early day 3, which he defined as the 4th round. Cowboys get him in the 5th. So it's a good value. And what you like about him is he's a ball hawk in that his passes defended number, swatting the ball away, that's pretty good. It's 29, but he only had 3 career interceptions and none after his sophomore year of college. And that's something he addressed with us on the conference call, saying, you get coached up a lot, just knock the ball down. So he's maybe taking that a little too closely to heart, but here in Dallas, that's not a problem ball hawking. You've seen Trayvon Diggs lead the league in interceptions, Deron Bland this past year. So if there's any place a corner is going to go and get better at taking away the football, the Dallas Cowboys is not a bad place to be to improve in that area.
Okay, and we wrap this thing up. The guy that I really wanted the Cowboys to draft early on in the 1st round was Keon Coleman, the wide receiver from Florida State. He went a few picks later, first pick of the 2nd round to the Buffalo Bills. Another thing is, what are they going to do at running back? And one of the things that Jerry Jones said in the post-draft press conference on Friday night, he alluded to the fact, I don't even know if he alluded to it, he basically came right out and said it, that Zeke Elliott is definitely an option as a free agent. An 8th round draft pick is the way I'll put it.
Yeah, and after that press conference, myself and a few other writers, reporters got to talk to him off to the side here, and he confirmed very interested in Zeke, and he sees him as somebody who, at this age of his career, 29, a lot of miles, has RB1 starter-like potential. And so he's coming off of career lows across the board in New England. But Jerry kept referencing his last few games with the Patriots, who went 4-13 and had the 3rd overall pick, were encouraging to him. And he's somebody who, he said, Zeke has put it all on the line for the Cowboys. We've put it all on the line for him, referencing the 6-year, $90 million extension he signed him to in 2019. So yeah, Jerry said interest is very real, and he sees him as a potential starting type. So if you're a Cowboys fan worrying, well, geez, they haven't drafted a running back, well, Ezekiel Elliott very well may be the starting running back of this team in 2024. No, it's not 2016. It's 2024.
Well, and the other thing is, I think that they look at, okay, 1 year Zeke is the starting running back, compare how much they would get out of Zeke for this 1 year and compare him to any of these running backs in this draft. What are they going to do as a rookie? And I think they like the fact, with all the other needs that they have, without doing much in free agency this spring, that they felt like that Zeke could be a viable option. So we'll see what happens after the draft with that. We appreciate it, Gary Podell. We thank you for joining us as well, and catch all of our coverage on CBSTexas.com.